Welcome to Simply Happy Conversations, a podcast that teaches you how to create a clutter-free, functional and simply happy life. I'm Narelle King, a professional organiser who supports families with practical steps to simplify their lives and create a more organised home. I'm passionate about supporting neurodivergent families and individuals like myself. If you're getting ready to move and feeling overwhelmed by the thought of sorting through your belongings, this episode is for you. I'll explore 10 practical tips to help you streamline the downsizing process or decluttering effectively and make your move a breeze. So let's get ready to simplify your life and space as we dive into the art of downsizing and decluttering for a fresh start in your new home. Decluttering and downsizing before a move can really reduce the stress and make the moving process a lot smoother. Today on the podcast, I'm going to share with you 10 effective practical tips to help you declutter and downsize with ease. Number 1 is start early, and plan ahead is key. Ideally, starting this process months before the move is going to avoid rushing and also then feeling really overwhelmed. Even several weeks before is also going to reduce that stress of the move. You want to avoid feeling rushed at the end as well. So breaking down the tasks into smaller, manageable goals, such as focusing on one room or one category at a time, like toys, or maybe it's games and puzzles, or just the books, or it's your pantry, is going to be a great start. Number 2 tip is to sort and categorise your items. So use the 5 container method. This is what I use when I'm working with clients, and label using masking tape the 5. So we've got a box, a bag, or a container, or even a washing basket. And we've got items that we're keeping, items that we're donating, things that we're selling, and then things that need to be put in the rubbish. As you go through items in cupboards or in a space, you can then place them into these appropriate boxes, containers, washing baskets to help you decide whether you keep an item or whether it's going to be maybe donated. You need to think about its usefulness. Is it an item that actually some other item you have in your kitchen also does that? So for example, a multi-cooker or a Thermomix, and then you also have a standalone rice cooker. Could you make do with just having the one appliance? So therefore, could the rice cooker be donated instead? And then the next thing is looking at whether it's sentimental to you. Are you keeping it because it's something that someone's given to you and you really value that? Also think about the condition. Is it something that's in good condition, or is there parts of it that are actually broken? And when was the last time you used it, which is probably really important. Because if it was years ago, then you're paying for this item to live in your home and take up space. Another way of looking at items is I have a 10-minute for $10 rule. So when I'm looking at an item and thinking about getting rid of it, could I replace it within about 10 minutes for $10? You might say 20 minutes for $20. And that way it might help to move some of these items on from your home. Number 3 is looking at tackling one room at a time. So focusing on one room at a time really avoids that feeling of overwhelm. So starting with the area that has maybe the less sentimental clutter, like a bathroom or maybe a laundry, or even your kitchen, and then working from there to the rooms that are definitely going to be more difficult, such as maybe a wardrobe. But also don't forget to declutter your garage, or if you've got a attic sort of space or some sort of storage space, looking at that part as well, because that's probably where you've placed items that you're like, oh, we might use that in the future, or it may come in useful down the track, and they're the ones that maybe you could actually look at letting go. Number 4 tip for downsizing and decluttering is decluttering in categories. So for example, looking at your clothes and sorting through your clothes and keeping only what you wear regularly. Then you could look at donating, selling, anything that's in a good condition but no longer maybe fits you or is maybe not your style anymore. You've maybe changed over the years. You might be still holding on to a pair of jeans or a dress that you thought might come back into fashion. Another category to look at would be like books and media, and keeping only your favorite and frequently used books, movies, DVDs, CDs, because you may be holding on to CDs, but you may not have a CD player. So really looking at those items and deciding whether you actually want to keep those. Another item could be looking at your paperwork and deciding whether maybe you could digitize some of those documents or shred unnecessary paperwork and keep only essential documents like your legal papers, finances, tax records, and warranties. This is an area that you're only going to declutter if you've got plenty of time before the actual moving day. Otherwise, it's one of those things that you could box up, write paperwork on it, and declutter it when you are finally settled into your new place. Number 5 tip is dealing with sentimental items, which is one of the most difficult. And really thinking about how much space you have and looking at your keepsakes. Once you're able to bring them all together, you can then see how many you've kept over the years. And especially if you've got young children, you may then realize you've got actually a whole box of artwork. You've got another box of sentimental clothing and items. And when we bring these all together, you can actually see the amount, and then you may be able to reduce it to what you think is manageable in your new place. Another thing to consider is actually taking photos and making these into digital keepsakes rather than keeping physical keepsakes, which obviously take up more space. It's setting a boundary for yourself and the rest of your family and working out what that boundary is for you. It's going to be different for each individual, and it also depends on the space that you have available to you. But once you've set that as amount and that space for it, then it's like stick to it. It may get to a point where the box is overflowing. Are you willing to give up more space and allocate a bigger box, or is it that you need to go through and declutter? Number 6 tip when thinking about downsizing and also decluttering is thinking about disposing of the items responsibly. So thinking about donating, giving your items that you're no longer wanting to a charity or a thrift store, an op shop, or could you sell it? So could you host your own garage sale or use an online platform like Facebook Marketplace, or sell items to a consignment store that can actually do all that behind the scenes work for you, and you get a small commission from what they make from the sale of the item. And then also thinking about recycling. What can you recycle? There's so many things these days that we can recycle. For example, e-waste, electronics, batteries, scrap metal, other recyclable like materials, fabric that can't be donated for clothing, but the material could still be used and broken down and remade into other items. This is one area I'm really, really passionate about supporting my clients to be able to find places that we can recycle their items. Sports equipment is another thing, old linen. There's actually a lot of things that can be recycled. And then the final thing is obviously rubbish, things that you need to dispose of that are broken, they're unusable, and they cannot be recycled. Number 7 tip is be practical and realistic. You really need to consider your future living space and also the lifestyle that you're deciding that what the items are that you're keeping, are you able to house those in your new home, but also is it going to fit into your lifestyle? Are you a family that used to camp all the time and now the children have got bigger, they're teens, and that's just not something you do on a regular basis anymore? And so is it time to let those things go? A smaller space is going to require fewer belongings, definitely fewer pieces of furniture, and really considering the layout and will all the furniture fit in your place. As much as you think this is all going to fit, it's having measurement so that you can be really honest with yourself about whether you are actually going to have those items in your new home and they're actually going to fit. Number 8 tip is seek help and support. Really consider hiring a professional organizer or a moving consultant for guidance and even removal of support. This is going to help you if you start at the start. It may help you just with the decluttering process, but I know there's removal consultants that will look at your space and be able to computer generate and give you that generation so that you can make sure that your furniture is going to definitely fit in the space that you're moving to. And don't forget to just ask for help from family and friends. They're going to give you a different perspective and also could provide emotional support to you. They could drop food off. Maybe they're going to help you hang pictures, which is one of my clients had her sister help her the other week. Are they going to help with moving plants? Maybe taking care of your pets and animals, walking the dog while you're on that moving day. Maybe also taking care of kids. There's so many things that people can do to help support you. Number 9 is create a system for future decluttering. You do not want to make decluttering only a thing you do every time you move. You want to make decluttering a regular habit to prevent future accumulation. For me, I try to do room by room, maybe once a month. I definitely find in the summer months that I'm more motivated to do room by room or small areas or cupboards or drawers, or you could schedule it and do it on the first of every month. And finally, number 10 is to celebrate your progress. If you can celebrate your progress as you go, you're going to stay motivated. And I really highly recommend taking some before and after photos. That is really motivating when you can see the difference that you've made. Keeping a tally of the items that you've donated can also be really motivating. I know for a client, she really enjoyed us saying that she donated 6 bags to the op shop, thrift shop, and we'd put 2 bags in recycling, and there was only actually 1 bag that went into rubbish. So that may be another thing that you might do to help yourself to stay motivated and celebrate your progress. A word of warning, don't treat yourself after completing decluttering tasks with shopping, because otherwise you're going to be inundated with more clutter. Use things like a massage or a dinner or some sort of special event rather than bringing more items into your home. So let me just recap the 10 for you. Number 1 is start early and plan ahead. So work back from the moving day, and as early as possible is going to make a huge difference. Number 2 is sort and categorise your items and thinking about the keep, donate, sell and rubbish or recycling piles. Number 3 is tackle one room at a time, maybe starting with ones with less sentimental items. Number 4 is declutter in categories. So thinking about clothes or books, kitchen, pantry, and remember, if you get the paperwork done, that's fantastic. But if not, you can always put it in a box and do it when you move. Number 5 was deal with sentimental items and really limit your keepsakes and how many you are going to keep for yourself or your family. Number 6, dispose of items responsibly, donate, sell, recycle, or rubbish. Number 7, be practical and realistic. So just considering where you're moving to and maybe your lifestyle. Number 8, seek help and support from family, friends, or even a professional organizer like myself. Number 9, create a system for future decluttering because we don't want it to just happen every time we move. And number 10 was celebrate your progress. I hope by following these tips, you can effectively declutter and downsize your belongings and make your move more manageable and set the stage for a more organized and simplified life in your new home. If you have your moving date set, head to simplyhappy.com.au in the resource tab to download our free moving essentials checklist today to ensure you have a smooth, stress-free moving day. Thanks for listening to Simply Happy Conversations. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Simply Happy conversation. If you're looking for a safe place to sell or donate your no longer needed items, then come join the Simply Happy organisation Facebook group. You'll also find storage solution ideas, organising hacks and tips, and makeovers to provide accountability and motivation for you to get started in your home. Head to Facebook and join the Simply Happy organisation Facebook group today. I'd like to acknowledge the Wathaurong people of the Kulin Nation on which this podcast is recorded as the traditional custodians of the land. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging.